Hi, I'm Mike Fossum from the STS-124 crew. You're watching NASA TV.
Good morning, Discovery.
Good morning, Shannon.
This is Mission Control Houston, and with that, Discovery's crew begins their day, their 9th flight day. The wake-up call this morning was the Mickey Mouse Club theme, of course, performed by the Musketeers.
Good morning from the Space Shuttle Flight Control Room at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. Discovery's mission now in its 9th day at a mission elapsed time of 7 days, 13 hours, 26 minutes into the flight of the orbiter to the International Space Station. Today is the third and final spacewalk of the mission for Mike Fossum and Ron Garan. They are already up, working in the Quest airlock. You see Commander Mark Kelly as he begins the early stages of the suit preparations for today's third spacewalk. Fossum and Garan spent the night in the slightly depressurized crew lock of the Quest airlock as they camped out overnight in the protocol procedure that enables them to facilitate the cleansing of nitrogen out of their bloodstreams, thus preventing any condition known as the bends or decompression sickness from incurring once they step out into the vacuum of space. A familiar sight for this flight, Mike Fossum in his extravehicular mobility unit as final preparations are being made in advance of this third and final spacewalk of the mission. Discovery Commander Mark Kelly on the left, Expedition 17 Flight Engineer Greg Shamatoff on the right, helping Fossum as he once again will be wearing the suit, as you see, bearing the red stripes as extravehicular crew member number 1. Ron Garan, just out of the field of view, will wear the unmarked suit, extravehicular crew member number 2, or EV2. The spacesuit purge activities will be followed by the crew members having the safer jet-powered backpacks placed on their extravehicular mobility units. Other communications and systems checks will be conducted before they are maneuvered inside the crew lock compartment of the Quest airlock. At that point, the hatch will be closed. The two crew members will begin to depressurize the crew lock, first down to 5 pounds per square inch of pressure, a pause in that depressurization to enable final suit checks to be made. Then the crew lock will be taken down to vacuum. The crew will be told to open up the outer thermal cover of Quest, then the hatch, and then place their suits on internal battery power to mark the official start of today's spacewalk.
Hey, Mike, are you ready? We're born ready. Born ready. You guys have sunrise in a minute and a half. Good. And Ronnie, you are go to lead them out the door. All right, heading on out.
Ron Garan now emerging out of the Quest airlock in the early minutes of the third spacewalk of his career. Discovery pilot Ken Ham quarterbacking this spacewalk from the aft flight deck of Discovery. Once he makes his way outside, Fossum will retrieve that portable foot restraint for the end of the Canadarm2 from a toolbox right by the airlock. He then will be making his way in tandem along with Garan to set up that foot restraint at the end of the arm. Garan will be operating much like a telephone repairman at the end of a cherry picker today, as he is maneuvered back and forth in what is called the windshield wiper maneuver, carrying the expended nitrogen tank from the starboard truss of the station back over to the port truss to hand off to Fossum, who will hand in exchange a new nitrogen tank and then be maneuvered back over to the starboard side for its installation. That nitrogen tank used to pressurize the ammonia coolant lines for the truss and its avionics.
Beautiful. Good. Okay.
The two spacewalkers now checking each other's portable backpacks, the safer units. Simplified aid for EVA rescue is the full name for that acronym. The jet packs they always wear for protective capability to return to the safety of the station in the unlikely event they would become untethered. Fossum now holding that portable foot restraint.
It's released. Going on the BRT.
And there is the end effector on the 58-foot-long Canadarm2. At the end of that robotic arm, Garan and Fossum will be attaching the portable foot restraint that Garan will affix his feet to for most of the initial portion of today's spacewalk. Mike Fossum looking right down at the Amazon jungle. Discovery and the International Space Station about to cross the equator and out over the open Atlantic Ocean.
Copy that. There we go. Got a black on black and a solid 12. Thank you. Okay, the next is attached to the EPFR. I'll be picking it up. Aki Karen, ready for the GCA for you to come station forward to your published position.
Copy that. Stand by 1.
Ron Garan providing GCA or ground controlled assist for Karen Nyberg at the robotic workstation in Destiny, as she now will send commands to move the station robotic arm toward Garan.
Be good motion.
Motion.
I didn't realize that. Okay. And Ron, your last was clipped. Yeah, didn't see the tip pin. I mean, cotter pin. You don't. That's not required. Yeah, well, only if you're tethering to it. Only if you're tethering to the whip extender is that thing required. Yep, sir. You have control? I have control. Okay, I'm releasing the jaws. Just go outboard. I will grab it. Okay.
A good view of Mike Fossum on the left, Ron Garan on the right, as they install the articulating portable foot restraint along the side of the end effector at the end of the 58-foot-long Canadarm2. You were looking at Mike Fossum, who will begin work to remove and hand off the external spare parts platform housing that new boxy nitrogen tank assembly to Ron Garin, who is on the starboard truss beginning work to release the expended nitrogen tank assembly for its transport over to the port side to be temporarily stowed on an attachment mechanism over on the port truss.
Okay, Ronnie, I'm ready to start motion station forward. We will let you know when we think that the NTA is out of the truss so you can relax a little bit with it.
Okay. Ready to go.
Starting motion.
Canadarm operator Karen Nyberg inside the Destiny laboratory, sending commands to begin to back Ron Garin away
Good motion.
with the large nitrogen tank that he is holding firmly, having unbolted it from its location on the starboard truss of the International Space Station.
Light as a feather, huh? Yep. Yeah, I've got some fold.
Is ramping out.
Over up there. Okay, thanks, Karen. I can see the handle. Looks like good clearance. And I'm just about in the 10 stow location. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, I'm kind of checking out the condition of the bag here. I think we're going to have to leave that lid up. There's one handle inside which has a propensity to catch, and as I've already proven, I think that's a good call. So we'll leave that one up like it is. I'll maneuver myself around, and I'll be able, of course, to bounce it a little bit and help clear it.
Slowly but surely, Ron Garin makes his way toward the P3 truss, where Mike Fossum awaits.
And by my clock, I'm showing about 2 more minutes to the end of the maneuver. Copy that. There we go.
Ron Garin now in a position to work in concert with Mike Fossum to stow and temporarily
We see 1 more meter.
place the old nitrogen tank on what is called a FRAM, a flight releasable attachment mechanism, on a handrail,
Start pitching it down a little bit.
which is on the P3 truss.
That's it.
Mike Fossum's helmet camera providing a view as the old nitrogen tank is being maneuvered towards its temporary stowage position.
How's the attitude look? Okay, what's that? How's the attitude look? It looks perfect. Ron, can you push it forward just a little bit? There we go. We got that edge coming in now. Good. Okay, it's coming into the shroud. Yeah, I don't feel any motion. Just push it forward. I'm as far forward as I can go. Okay. Well, then pull it back some. You don't want to be at full extension. Very nice. Good motion.
Copy, good motion.
whatever you keep it coming.
A view from Mike Fossum's helmet camera showing Ron Garan driving the bolts in that will secure the expended nitrogen tank on the external stowage platform on the P3 truss of the International Space Station.
Okay, green light. And we got 25.4.
And so at 10:35 a.m. Central Time, the old nitrogen tank now securely in place on external stowage platform number 3. Garan now will be maneuvered ever so slightly by Karen Nyberg operating the Canadarm2 from inside the Destiny laboratory to receive the new nitrogen tank assembly from Mike Fossum.
Good motion.
Motion. Hey, Ronnie, can you see that APFR there?
It's well clear. Continue motion.
Continuing.
Okay, stop motion.
Motion.
Ron Garan about to begin about a 15-minute transit with the new 528-pound nitrogen tank assembly back over to the starboard truss of the complex. The view from the top, Ron Garan's helmet camera providing a panoramic view of the International Space Station as he is a high-flying spectator at an altitude of 212 statute miles, moving the new nitrogen tank assembly over to the starboard truss of the International Space Station.
And Hawk, that's a negative. We want
The shuttle station complex about to cross the northwest coast of South America and the equator.
Beautiful crescent moon over the horizon. Yeah.
He said, stand by one.
Okay. Okay, but Charlie on the other end here is secured. All of the quarter turns on big flap number 2 are secured.
And Mike, I'm happy with the WVS of that
Okay.
MLI secure.
Looking good.
Copy that.
Continue motion.
Continuing.
Ron Garan now inserting the new nitrogen tank into its slot in the starboard 1 truss of the International Space Station. He'll be using that pistol grip tool to torque down a series of 4 bolts and then open up clamps for 6 electrical cables that will mate the new assembly to the International Space Station's truss. Meanwhile, this sequential still video showing Mike Fossum now at the port Solar Alpha rotary joint.
Copy, you got the scoop.
No,
FOSSUM now will use a pistol grip tool to release some inboard cover fasteners, 9 turns, and then some thermal, a thermal cover, and that will expose the mechanism of the port sarge under cover number 2. The port sarge is working fine, but it was noted that there was a bit of particulate matter on the outboard tang of the outer canted surface of the port solar alpha rotary joint, and a tape sample, some Kapton tape, will be used by FOSSUM in a very quick procedure to gather up some of this particulate matter, put it in a bag, and to bring it home for analysis by engineers here at the Johnson Space Center.
Covers removed, and I see some of the additional characteristic. Here's the same kind of streaking that we had on the other side, and one of the little so-called grease balls. I do see another feature on datum A that is golden color. It's near a gear tooth. I definitely recommend getting a picture of that. I try to get an angle on it. Tape alpha is out.
Okay, Mike, you said tape alpha?
Stay firm.
FOSSUM collecting samples.
And Mike, you don't need the words on where to take the sample, correct?
Taking it next to, but not on the outboard outer canted surface.
You can see one of the 12 trundle bearing assemblies that basically grips both race rings on the 10-foot wide joint.
Closer, is that what you want? Is one what you want?
No, that's exactly what we're looking for. That's perfect. Thank you.
In the bag. Next.
Nice job. I would go for the camera.
Well, Houston, you want a second tape? You want pictures? Sorry.
Hey, Hawk, we're showing about 5 minutes for photos. That allows for about 15 minutes to get the cover back on, so we agree with going for the camera.
Outstanding.
Okay, you'll get it done in a jiff.
Good motion.
Good motion. We have the clearances from here.
All right, thanks for all the help. That was awesome.
Fun working with you. See you inside in a couple hours.
All right.
Now complete with the Canadarm2. Ron Garin will continue his work with fluid quick disconnect work as he connects a series of those quick disconnect cables to the new nitrogen tank that is in the S1 truss. Karen Nyberg now moving Canadarm2 away from the truss of the International Space Station, its work having been completed. Good view of Mike FOSSUM making his way down the truss of the International Space Station.
Copy that.
So Mike, clocking in 6.
Got it. Clocking set.
Mike Fossum in the process of stowing tools and other equipment before he presses ahead to the forward end of the Kibo laboratory to begin work to remove thermal insulation from the wrist and elbow cameras on the Japanese robotic arm. A great shot of Mike Fossum as he makes his way now towards the forward end of the Japanese Kibo laboratory, which was installed last week.
Yeah. Thank you.
And which is open for business, with science racks having and technical racks having been installed over the past several days. He will be spending some time at the forward end of Kibo, removing some thermal insulation from the wrist and elbow camera on the 33-foot-long Japanese robotic arm that was tested for the first time and moved, 2 joints of which were moved for the first time yesterday. As Fossum works on the removal of the thermal covers, this thermal insulation from the wrist and elbow cameras on the Japanese robotic arm, Ron Guerin has hooked up quick disconnects, fluid lines from the new nitrogen tank assembly that was installed in the S1 truss to the adjacent ammonia tank assembly. The nitrogen used to pressure the ammonia tank so that coolant can flow through the truss to make sure that all the avionics and systems in the truss are properly thermally conditioned.
Okay.
The bag is transferred. I'm going for a rep for the dummy panel. Hey, Ronnie, you're looking great out there, man. Where are you at? I'm going to enter this JLP. Hey! How you doing? Good. Oh, my gosh.
It's a view of Mike Fossum working on the end of the new Kibo laboratory, getting packed up to go out and help Ron Guerin with the camera installation on the station's port truss.
Get a beer, too. Okay, hot, ready for FedEx.
Stand by.
It's a view from Mission Specialist Ron Guerin's helmet camera as he is working on the
Same settings.
camera installation on the port truss. First, he has to remove a dummy box that he and Fossum installed during the second EVA as a placeholder for that camera. Ron Guerin decided he has the installation of the camera on the port truss under control and doesn't need Mike Fossum to come out and help, so Mike Fossum is going instead to the airlock to get ready for another get-ahead task. They'll be installing some thermal covers on some quick disconnects on the station's Harmony node.
Okay.
And Ronnie, next is a tool inventory, a glove check. Bag up the large ORU bag and head out.
All right, that's the work.
Teams in the Space Shuttle Flight Control Room say that the camera is moving and now producing good video. Here's a view from, this is the camera that Ron Guerin just finished reinstalling after it was repaired yesterday. A new power supply was added to it. to replace a failed one after Guerin and Fossum removed the camera during the second spacewalk of the mission. Guerin's now going to head to the Harmony node at the station where Fossum's already working on installing the thermal blankets on quick disconnects there.
Look at the camera. I saw a good tilt.
Ron, we have a good checkout. We have a good image, and we got good pan and tilt. Nice work.
Good job. Doing good. Okay, there's a little gap at the bottom of this one. If zero gap is the requirement, I can adjust.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, Mike, I was thinking more
We'll
about
take the
if you're
adjustment. We
looking
don't
at it
want
from the other side, which may be difficult for you. There's a little twist in the MLI so that the silver is shown.
Yeah. Okay. I'll get.
And I don't know if that's a problem or not.
Copy.
And Houston, I'll describe it to you. On the far side of the QD area, there's a little twist in the very end of the MLI so that the silver is showing out. Is that okay?
Never mind.
Well,
Yeah, never mind all that. Mike just fixed it.
okay, we see the
Never
fix
mind, I
there.
got
And
it.
the real question is if the QD is showing.
Yeah. There's over there. It looks real good over on the native side.
That looks great, Mike. You can press on.
Get everything packed in here.
This is a view from Mission Specialist Mike Fossum's helmet camera as he's at the Quest airlock getting packed up now that he's finished his task and several more that weren't scheduled for this spacewalk. Station and shuttle are about 220 miles above the Southern Ocean right now and heading toward New Zealand and the orbital sunrise for this orbit.
Good starting to take care of swap. My local is down.
Copy that. Take your time.
Pilot's on it. I'm ready to release yours. You pending? I am pending it, yes.
As you can see, Mission Specialist Ron Guerin's made it back to the airlock and is getting ready to head in. The spacewalk is now been going on for 6 hours and 13 minutes, scheduled to go 6 hours and 20 minutes.
Coming out.
Mike Fossum's helmet camera. Fossum's now inside the Quest airlock looking out at Ron Guerin, who's ready to get in.
Nice and easy. Just a few steps left, buddy. Yep. Okay, you ready for my wake, buddy? I'm just waving at the camera, Charlie, down there. Yep, I'm ready for your wake, center.
And that recorder's running too.
Hey, Hawk, we never heard it down here in the loops. We just want to confirm that all 4 bags are in there with the guys, a medium, 2 crew locks, and a large.
Stay firm.
Yeah, we watched them all go in there and there.
Okay, thanks.
About it. Can you snag it? Got it. Okay. I'm coming.
As you can see, Mission Specialist Mike Fossum's made it back inside the equipment lock section of the Quest airlock where they'll be getting out of their spacesuits. Mission Specialist Ron Guerin is making his way in at the moment with the help of Mission Specialist Aki Hoshide. Mission Specialist Mike Fossum, Pilot Ken Ham, and Mission Specialist Ron Guerin stopping for a photo. This video being sit down by the cameras on board the space shuttle of the crews on the shuttle's mid-deck in their evening dinner.
Looks like dinner time.
So you guys are on board with us?
You bet. Now we're hungry.
All right, we got some Takana meat with vegetables for you. So we're having some Russian and American food. Just finished EVA 3 a couple hours ago, as you guys know. And just feel free to join us.
We will for at least the next 22 minutes. Enjoy a meal well earned.
All 10 members of the two crews have gathered together for the meal. Across the top of the screen, you can just make out Pilot Ken Ham. Then from left to right across the middle is Commander Mark Kelly sitting next to the Station Commander Sergei Volkov. Then Mission Specialist Garrett Reisman, Flight Engineer Oleg Kononenko, and the station's new Flight Engineer Greg Shamatov on the far right side. Then across the bottom, the Mission Specialist Ron Guerin, just having finished his third spacewalk. Mission Specialist Karen Nyberg and Guerin's fellow spacewalker Mike Fossum.